Hi, I'm Steve from SF Marine. Today I wanted to talk to you about our loadout that we're putting on the 21-foot centre console that will feature in the Sea Anglian Classic this year. So this video is sponsored by ZIPWAKE. What we have here, High Pro Marine, the UK distributor, and their partnering company, Avon Marina. So they've been kind enough to give us a setup for a 300S series interceptor system. So these are dynamic interceptor tabs, not so much trim tabs, with auto self-leveling and pitch control. So we're just going to do an unbox, show you what comes with the kit, and then at some point we'll show you the installation of how you go about installing these products onto any boat, whether it's a brand new one, obviously a retrofit, and talk you through different types of setups, hulls, and what the options are available to us. So it comes with helm control panel, which is fully waterproof, can go on a centre console or cabin boat, inside or outside, wherever you need to. It's nice and easy for that. The actual distribution unit, which is going to be your ECU and motherboard for the system itself. Then we've got a pair of interceptors as well. So again, these are the 300S, which is just a single pair which go on the transom. You can control up to 6 interceptors on these. You can get reverse chime onto the corners depending on your hull setup. Obviously you set a hull as well as a rounded or a straight interceptor that goes in the keel below the engine. So they do offer these different shapes because just your water disturbance going into the outboard, you don't want to create too much turbulence because you end up with things like cavitation and overall would hinder your performance. So you know they've spent a lot of money in developing these products to take into account all these factors and make sure it works for you. Always with the sellotape in all these boxes, so just grab yourself a standard load. So what we have with this is the main interceptor, so relatively compact, not too heavy as a unit itself, probably a little bit heavier than standard trim tabs like a Bennett or Lenco system. Obviously connection cable, through hull connector, as well as a couple of cable tidies as well, which can be cut down to suit or really whatever you want to do. With them it's not too much problem. So I did see that at some point that you can do either transom mounted, so the cable will run up your transom and into your boat like that, or whether this could be modified, this particular one, to go in a through hull, so that way you end up with no cables protruding out the back of the boat there. So the distribution unit itself, very small, very compact, 2 fixings either side to go in. We'd probably mount this closer to the transom or in the aft locker of the boat itself, and then run the cables up to the helm. And then this will be accessible through a locker door anyway. We'll have to just see where we're going to go with the tabs themselves. So to take these off requires a star drive as opposed to any standard fixing, so the faceplate will come off and then you'll fix the backing plate into the hull and then reattach this on top anyway. They do suggest torquing these to the specified torque rating, which will be in the manual there. It comes with also warranty card, full setup checklist, setup as well, showing you what you need to do with each setting. Small bit on the back there. Overview of the system, upgrades and additions that you can put on. Basic controls to understand obviously what you're doing. We'll run through that with you another day anyway, and to show you a bit of setup and how you can tailor this to it. So this system itself is pretty much fully automatic, so there is no necessity to sit there and press buttons or take your eye off the prize as such while you're driving, maybe in a heavy sea. This can be set up at the dock in the sense of you can set the percentage of the interceptor of how much it protrudes from the base of the hull, depending on the rev range and speed that you're doing via the GPS tracker that is set up in this. So say you're doing 5 knots, you could set it up to 10%, 15%, 20%. Obviously, usually as you increase speed, it's pretty simple on the dial. It's just a bar system. So as you increase speed, the trim tabs will drop down. So when you're starting up, obviously they'll be fully extended, and then as you gain up and onto the plane, they'll retract themselves back into the boat and give you optimum fuel efficiency. So I think, and don't quote me on this because I think it's around 15% fuel economy bonus from this, just from the dynamic system itself, that it does all the work for you. You don't need to mess around with it. So the control unit, very compact, very light. This is very smooth, nice tog wheel on there, really nice. So this will be the second set we've installed anyway. So we've installed one of these before, so they're relatively easy to get your head around, no different than installing smart tabs. Well, a bit different to smart tabs because it's electronic, but it's all a plug and play system, so it's relatively easy to understand and get your head around, even for a novice user. It also comes with templates for everything, as you'd expect from any major manufacturer these days. Is sellotape this to your helm, or the transom, the trim tab templates to the back of your hull, and then drill and cut away to your heart's desire. And I mean, it tells you on there anyway, so if you can buy a hole saw this exact size, or the pre-drills and things like that to pre-drill the holes for the helm, then you're going to reduce the chance of cracking your gel coat or rupturing anything, and just keep it nice and tidy really, which will be the main thing. So somewhere must be in this box. Oh, they're in here. So we've got the screws that will hold the faceplate onto the trim tab anyway. So these are ones they suggest a torque rating for. So another set in there, a couple of spare ones. So these big ones, as such, as what's going to be mounted through the interceptor into your transom. So the thing with these is the shank. So the shank of what we call on a screw is the tubular bit that runs between the thread and then the thread itself. So whenever you drill in a hole like this, really, the pilot needs to be the size of the shank. That's what we suggest, or you know, very small amount over, so you don't end up with a sloppy hole as such. So the thing with these, because one, the shank is so large, and two, the thread is so large, is any trim tab interceptor manufacturer supply these. Now they're very good, they're very heavy duty, you know, they need to be. There's a lot of force running across these. The thing to bear in mind with these is, even if you pilot the hole at the shank size, then the likelihood is you still may blow out the gel coat at the back of your boat. So what I would suggest is measure them. I mean, we use a tool called a vernier, which would measure the outside diameter of this. If you haven't got, which you most likely won't, is just use a tape measure or ruler, and probably find the middle point between the thread and the shank, so you end up with maybe, well, just under, say, 1/2 mil either side. So then that way you've got a much less likely chance of blowing the gel coat out. The second thing I would suggest also is ever so slightly countersinking the hole that you're driving this into. So if you don't know to countersink, you can use an oversized drill bit just to chamfer the edges or taper them out, just so then if anything needs to happen, or it reduces the chance of happening, is that gel coat splitting away from your hull, and then you've got less likely chance of osmosis setting into your hull, or delamination occurring in the transom itself, or you know, water ingress into the transom and rotting the wood out. So we've got a few more to go through between now and June, so we'll keep you updated with this. We'll show you how to install it later on, and thanks very much. If you do enjoy the content, then please like and subscribe to the video. If there's any questions about anything that we do here, then please let us know and we'll do our best to answer.